Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We are good for your ears. I'm Dan, and you can find me everywhere at RFistan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Snow Dogs Vlogs and Gone to the Snow Dogs and all the Snow Dogs things. I should just get all of the Snow Dogs, everything. Disney tried to do it years ago with some movie called Snow Dogs, but
Is that the one with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yes.
Did you watch that movie?
Well, yeah. Was there huskies in it? Then yes.
Are you forced to watch all dog movies?
No, I will not watch all dog movies. I will not watch Old Yeller. I will not watch A Dog's Purpose. I will not watch A Dog's Journey. I won't watch a movie if I know that the dog dies.
Okay, which like Marley and Me, they all die in all the movies. I
never watched Marley and Me. I did watch 8 Below, and dogs do die in that movie. And I've watched it a few times, and I cry every single time. But that's a really good movie.
Those are all small in comparison to what I'm about to ask you next. You and I have been friends for a lot of years, and you've never steered me wrong. So I know you're not gonna lie to me or the audience. Have you ever watched, maybe late at night, maybe Jamie's sleeping, the dogs aren't even watching, and you can't sleep, and you sit in front of the television and put on Netflix, and you put on Beverly Hills Chihuahua?
I've watched Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Have you really?
Yeah.
We can't be friends anymore.
I've watched Show Dogs. If you think Beverly Hills Chihuahua is funny, you should watch Show Dogs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Have you watched Air Bud?
I have watched Air Bud. And I've watched which one is it? Snow Buddies, the one with the husky puppy in it. I've watched Air Bud. I watched Pup Star. I had to watch Pup Star because that was the very first movie that the dogs actually promoted.
Right.
Was Pup Star. So I had to watch Pup Star. I watch a lot of corny dog movies.
Yes, let's run through some of them. Like last time I saw the Air Dogs, because Air Bud's not around no more, but he's got relatives, and there was enough of those the golden retrievers to have a whole football team. I think the last time they all had helmets on, it was some sort of dog football.
I think they've done multiple of each sports. There's been a lot of different ones. Actually, I think that a new Air Bud movie just came out. I'm not sure, but I thought I saw something the other day about another Air Bud movie. But I think there's been a football one and a soccer one and the basketball one, of course.
Right. So you've had dogs for a lot of years. How hard is it for us to produce this movie? Because it's on the down low. It's never into theaters. It's straight to DVD. Is it doable, or is it hard to make one of these pet movies?
I think it really depends. If you're gonna do it where the dogs actually look like they're talking and you have to do a lot of the CGI of their face and stuff, it's gonna be pretty difficult. But regardless, it's a movie. Of course, it's gonna be difficult. Dogs can be temperamental, just like children can be temperamental. But if you could recreate any movie that I think would actually be doable without having to CGI everything, it would be Homeward Bound. Do you remember Homeward Bound?
Oh man, I can't forget the part where I think Michael J. Fox voiced the dog that just smashed into that tree.
Yeah.
That's the thing I see every time is just the dog running into the tree. I'm like, dang, they used that.
I have seen that movie so many times.
I only remember that part.
Oh my gosh, the end of it when those dang dogs come, the dog comes running over the hill, the young dog comes running over the hill, and then the cat comes running over the hill.
That's
and
right,
then the old
cat,
dog,
sassy, smashy, spassy, sassy, snassy. What's her name?
I think, was it Sassy?
I think so.
Is it Sassy? And the one dog's name is Chance. And then I don't remember.
I think my first pet movie that really captured my attention, whoa, this is crazy, was Milo and Otis.
Milo and Otis was good.
It was beautiful. They put the kitten in a boot. They threw the boot in the frickin' lake, and the kitten ran down the lake while somebody ran with a image stabilization camera and then narrated over it. It was the craziest movie. I think at one point they fought a snake. How did they do that? It was a different time, right?
It was a different time.
I don't think you get away with that stuff now, but that movie was beautiful. You guys
should
don't watch it. Watch the trailer on YouTube.
Right. It would all be CGI now.
It would all be CGI
you know what my favorite animated Disney movie is?
It is probably Ratatouille.
No.
Because that's everybody's. Or it's It can't be all dogs go to heaven. It can't be the
Nope.
Land Before Time, all 20 of them. It's Balto. Wasn't there like a...
I said Disney.
I don't know if they're Disney. I just know they're animated. I don't know very many like animated dog movies.
My favorite animated Disney movie of all time is 101 Dalmatians.
That's an easy one. Hey, wait, okay. Did you work at McDonald's during the 101 Dalmatians kickoff thing where they had 101 Dalmatians randomly sealed in Happy Meal toys?
Yeah, I have over 100 of them in a box.
Wow. Was that just like the most glorious month ever where like you just had all these endorphins and rushes trying to get the next Dalmatian?
Well, yeah, I bought a lot of toys.
Did you?
Yeah, way too many. I did.
But you didn't work there at the time, right?
I think I don't remember if I worked there during that time or if it was just after when I worked there. I don't remember. I don't even remember. I do remember buying a lot of Dalmatian toys from McDonald's.
Okay, here's how I imagine it going down. Chicken McDonald's to take your order. Yeah, I'd like a Big Mac and some pop and 12 Happy Meal toys only. Okay, that'll be $14.88, and then off you go. Is that pretty much true?
No, I bought toys. Toys. Because you could buy just the toys. No, that's my favorite animated Disney movie is because I don't consider Nightmare Before Christmas animated. Nightmare Before Christmas is stop motion. That's different. So 101 Dalmatians is my favorite animated Disney movie. And I always thought when I was little that I was going to have a Dalmatian. That was the dog that I always wanted, but I couldn't have one because my mom got bit by a Dalmatian when she was a kid. Actually took a huge chunk out of her leg. But like my grandpa was a Detroit fireman. So I liked Dalmatians because he was a fireman. And I liked that movie. But I knew as much as I wanted a Dalmatian, I didn't ever want to get one because I didn't want my mom to be, as a kid, I didn't want my mom to be afraid of my dog. Like that was how it worked out in my head. I'll never have one because my mom won't like my dog.
Wow, so there could have been a tiny bit of chance that you could have been gone to the Dalmatian dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Remember at PetCon when I saw my first Dalmatian ever?
I cannot believe that's your first Dalmatian.
That was
I have
my
a cousin
first Dalmatian.
that lives out by you, and he rescues deaf Dalmatians.
Oh, only deaf ones? That's a very unique niche.
Dalmatians have a high poorly bred Dalmatians from poor breeders have a high percentage of actually going deaf by the time they're 2 years old. They carry like this genetic predisposition to it, and it has something to do with the coloring in their coat that causes this gene. And if you breed two of the dogs that have the same gene in it, they can become deaf. So Dalmatians being deaf is one of the most common issues that those dogs have. So he for the longest time only rescued deaf Dalmatians, and then he also started rescuing retired racing greyhounds.
Oh,
so
yes.
he'd have a greyhound that could run really fast and a deaf dog.
I think Anthony had a retired greyhound, Spike, and he would still run around all crazy. Man, those dogs are so fast.
Yeah, they are.
Dude, they're like Velociraptor fast.
Yeah, and I guess the only other Beethoven. I watched so much because we had a St. Bernard.
I love Beethoven. Yep. I went to the theaters to see Beethoven and Beethoven's second and Beethoven's third, and that was it. And the rest of them were like direct to DVD. But I did like Beethoven.
We had Beethoven. We had a St. Bernard. We had a St. Bernard before St. Bernards were cool. My mom and dad had St. Bernards ever since they got married. And we used to walk to school, and kids always would say that, "Oh, your dog looks like Beethoven." You know, at first, you're like, my dog was cool before Beethoven.
Yeah, I had a Beethoven too. I had a St. Bernard.
Yeah,
her name was Maggie. They're so big. She used to do hot laps when I let her in the house. She'd do hot laps up and down our staircase in our 2-story house. It was like crazy.
Oh, jeez. My mom and dad have had, what did we figure out? I think 8 or 9 St. Bernards in the amount of time they've been married. You can tell by their names when they had kids too, because they had like bourbon and whiskey.
Yeah, people are always naming them Bartles and James and Jack and Daniels. I'm like, holy cow, like, come up with something better. I wonder
if I can name them all, because I know they had bourbon, then whiskey, then Patches, then Sunshine, then Moonshine. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Greta.
Oh, Greta's not too bad. I think I've had a car named Greta.
Yeah. And Greta was the one that they adopted. She was the one that had bone cancer, but she was the one they adopted from the people that came into the deli and were like, "Hey, we have this dog and we had kids and the dog's too big and it's knocking over our kids." And I'm like, "You didn't know that a 150-pound dog could knock a child over? Like,
Right.
you didn't plan for that? Because the dog didn't get 150 pounds overnight and you've had it for 4 years. Like,
Yeah. I know there wasn't Google back then, but like, did you not research the size of the dog?
and they kept wanting my mom and dad to take that dog. And man, I remember when my dad was just like, just bring the dog over. And then they kept telling him, she's afraid of men. She's afraid of men. Man, my dad had that dog wrapped around his finger in less than 5 minutes. My dad is so good with dogs.
Is he? Was he? Could he have been you if time were shifted 25 years? Could he have done what you do now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could have been a dog trainer.
He's the OG snow dog.
Yeah. My dad is so good with dogs. I don't even know how he does it. He can not say words and the dogs just like listen to him. I really don't know how he does it.
What's your dad's name?
John.
John. What's your mom's name?
Kathy.
Kathy.
Did you not know that? You met my mom and dad. Well, I guess my mom and dad tell everybody
You know
to call them mom and dad.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you ever do is talk about mom and dad. Oh, mom and this and dad that. Like, no,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And all of my friends call my mom and dad. Everybody.
Yeah. You know what? My parents were the same way. My mom was always called mom by everybody else. It's just weird.
Yep.
It's not everybody's mom, but some people's moms are just like, "What's up, mom?"
Yep. That's how my mom and dad were. Yeah, my mom is so it's John and Kathy. And then my brother's name is John, and my nephew's name is John, and my grandpa's name was John.
Of course it is. Of course it is 23andMe.
But they're not. It's not a junior. Like my grandpa's name was John, but it wasn't the same as my dad's name, and my dad's name wasn't the same as my brother's name. The middle names aren't the same.
All right.
So they're not juniors.
All right, Country Mouse. Do you know a friend named Bubba? Do you know anybody named Bubba?
No, I
You sure? You never ran into a Bubba?
No.
Okay.
I can't say I know a friend named Bubba. But my brother's name is John Carl.
Oh my gosh.
And I have an uncle named Alvis, not Elvis. His name is Alvis.
That sounds like an episode of the Chipmunks when Alvin dressed up like Elvis Presley and tried to do stuff. That's what that sounds like.
And his last name is Knight, so his name is Alvis Knight.
Oh my gosh, I love
That's
it.
what state he's from.
I love it. Oh jeez. We have this one kid that comes into the bike shop and his name's Cash, and like all his backpacks are like $100 bill looking backpacks, and his shoes, he had Vans that had like $100 bills printed on them. It's hard to live up to your name. That's why I'm Dan. I love my name. I love my name so much. My real name is Daniel. Well, like when I say my real name, like that's what's on my birth certificate.
Right.
And then I was Danny, and I hate Danny so much. The only people that can call me Danny are girls and people that have known me at least 17 years and younger. So I still get people that come into the bike shop and stuff that I've known since I was a kid, and they'll call me Danny. And then that's all it takes. And then Ryan, who works with me, hops on that. Oh, what's up, Danny? I'm like, shut up, man. And then when I got to like high school or something, it was just Dan. It's just 3 letters, 2 consonants smushed in between a vowel sandwich. And then my name, I love it. It fits into the high score slot. It's 1 syllable. You can't shorten it. Your name's Jessica, right?
Yeah.
I've never said that name before. I've only called you Jess. I can't even call you by your real name because I'm too lazy to make another syllable come out of my mouth when I want your attention.
Most people don't call me Jessica. Most people call me Jess. And there's only 2 people in this world that are allowed to call me Jessie, and one of them's dead.
Jesse. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There was literally 2 people.
I don't like that
my
name for
one
you.
friend, my friend Mike Young, he still calls me Jessie, and he's the only one that I don't like.
How many years has he called you Jesse for?
What year is it?
Right. 2019?
2019. So 25 years.
Yeah, see, that's the same with me. Like, there's things that just predate and I can't change it, and that's what they know you at. But it's charming because it's like, dang, like, after you, like, nobody knows me before the internet. When I say the internet, I mean, like, social media. Nobody knows me before that. The few people that do, they know the real Dan. They know the real me, and they do call me Danny. My family does call me Danny a lot too.
Everybody in my dad's side of the family calls my dad Johnny.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's kind of
Everybody
cool.
calls him Johnny. When we're hanging out with people, it's Johnny. Like that's what they call him.
I don't like Jesse. I'll never call you that name ever.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I honestly think too that it started as a joke because my buddy Ryan used to call me that. And I think it kind of started as a joke, and then Ryan and Mike always called me Jesse. Always called me Jesse. Nobody else really did it. Because I wouldn't let anybody else do it. I corrected people. I was like, that is not my name.
That is not my name. I've never
Not
corrected
my name.
anybody.
And then whenever people ask me that, what do you like to be called? Just Jess. Jess is fine. Very few people. I can't even think of it. Jamie says it. Jamie will say Jessica.
He does. He will.
Yeah,
he'll say your full name.
Yeah, he does.
He does say your full name. What do you call? Because you never have to call me by my name. What do you call me when you reference me to people?
Dan.
I'm just Dan?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
What should I call you?
I don't know. I don't know what you chose.
Well, it depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to people that know you and I'm talking about something that they know it's going to be you I'm talking about, I just say Dan. If it's people that I know that know we know too many Dans, it now becomes California Dan.
It now becomes what?
California Dan.
Oh, I'm California Dan. I like that because that everybody called me Mohawk Dan, and I'm like, that's so easy. You like chose where I live because you're so proud of where you live.
You're California Dan. Like when I was trying to tell Greg the story about my buddy Dan Westergaard here that helped with the trailer, I was trying to tell Greg the story, and I started saying Dan, and he goes, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Not California Dan, Rat Boy Dan."
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with being California Dan. That makes me, when you say California Dan, people picture like Baywatch and like six packs and tans and sandals and weed. Like it's just like I'm living the California life. I hang out with celebrities. When I went to Michigan to see my friends way before I met you, my friends' parents was like, "Do you see celebrities every day?" And then I told them my two like bad celebrity sightings, and they're just like, they looked at me like I was famous.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so California, man, I hang out with celebrities, and I'm on the beach with Hasselhoff.
Good Lord.
That makes...
We have celebrities in Michigan?
Yeah, Eminem and Kid Rock. And Michael Moore.
Madonna.
Madonna's from Michigan?
Bob Seger.
Really, Madonna?
Yeah, you didn't know Madonna was from Michigan?
No.
Yeah, Madonna's from Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
What part of Michigan? Not UP for sure. Not like upstate.
I want to say Sterling Heights, but I don't think that's right.
Is that by Detroit?
Yeah. Here, I'll look it up. Where is Madonna from?
It's okay. Now she's from like not America anymore. Did you hear her talk the other day when she was talking? She does not have an American accent anymore. She's all London and tea.
She's from Bay City, Michigan. I was close.
Where's that at? Is that like down?
It's further north than Detroit. Bay City is not far from where my buddy Chris Erickson lives, actually.
Okay, by Sagnasty?
Yeah, by Sagnasty.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Hey, how's your TikTok doing this week?
It's crawling, man. It's crawling. I'm so close to 300,000 followers on the Dogs channel on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So close. Dang. I'm close to 1,000 on mine. So.
That's good. I can't wait to get to 1,000 on mine just so I can live stream.
Right?
Dude, I got banned from live streaming. Not banned, but I got copyright smashed from Instagram the other day. I was live streaming at the shop, and there was music in the background, and some 50s song came on, and somebody's great-great-great-grandchild got that on lock, because as soon as some doo-wop song came on, Instagrams were like, "Oh, poor connection, bad connection lost, and you have been disconnected due to, like, copyright infringement. Have a good day."
That's
and then it dumped out to my desktop of my phone.
That's so crazy.
I know. So I need to go live stream on TikTok.
Yeah, I highly doubt TikTok would actually like do anything if you were playing copyrighted music in the background.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're hopping on board with that yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I do know I have used audio that people have uploaded to TikTok, and then like weeks later, it's like, this was taken, the audio has been removed due to blah, 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 blah.
And that's fine, as long as you don't get dinged for it.
You don't seem to get dinged for it, and it looks like a lot of times what TikTok does is they'll pull the audio and then they'll re-upload it with the correct artist and name of the song.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take your audio and you can download the TikTok, take the correct audio, re-upload your TikTok with the
As long as you can just re-upload it or fix it and it doesn't give you like some sort of strike of like 3, then you're out, then it's fine.
So far it doesn't seem to.
Okay, then I'm okay with that. But me, I don't know what my repercussions are. They didn't send me an email. They didn't send anything.
They might just have just stopped it.
Yeah.
I think some of the sites are a little more, I don't know, they come down on it a little more. But like YouTube got in a lot of trouble for letting people use copyright music for a long time. And I think that like they're a little bit more like gun shy about it. Where I think even like Instagram and Facebook aren't as gun shy about it. They're kind of like, oh, 15 seconds. We can do 15 seconds. And then, you know, TikTok kind of, because like TikTok didn't have permission to use, or Musical.ly at the time, they didn't start off with permission to use a lot of these songs. They just did it. And then over time, as it grew, the artists were like, yes, you can use it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You just beg for forgiveness or come to some sort of mutual agreement of monetization afterwards.
Well, and if the artists are smart, I don't know if you noticed, like right now on the front page, that stupid Mariah Carey song, "Why Are You So Obsessed With Me?" That song is trending, and that it's actually one of the trends you can do. And if you go on the front page, the very first one is Mariah Carey singing the song.
Right, her new song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so they're finally, and this is this thing that irritated me and probably you over the last 10 years of metrics didn't count if you didn't watch live television. So anything that was DVR'd or anything you watched on Netflix flicks later didn't account towards ratings because they discounted us and what we were doing at home. And now they're finally coming around to the point where it's like, dude, if I'm a band, I am making a 15-second edit of it and throwing it at TikTok for the freest advertisement ever. And it's fun and they love you more. And you just throw it out there for free and you will make more money on it. And it's irritating because we all knew that's what it would happen 10 years ago if they would have just done it. But everything was so shy of the internet and now we're getting it. And it makes me halfway happy.
I cannot tell you how many songs I have heard on TikTok and I've heard them play for those 15 seconds and then they're in my head and I'm like, I have to look this. I want to hear the whole song now. Like, I think Cradles was one of them that I think that's the name of the song. That one I've listened to all the way. Of course, the Get Up song and
it was Old Town Road
song. But look at how many people heard it on TikTok and were like, I gotta go hear this whole song.
I would have never known that. And I've added
those songs to my playlist on Spotify. Some of them I've kept Abso Facto. He's that one guy. He's from Alpena.
Yes.
One of the reasons that his song started blowing up is because people blew it up on TikTok.
Yeah, I would have never known what Old Town Road was if it wasn't for you and TikTok.
Because they weren't playing it on the radio.
Right. And I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to listen to it, but it's in my head and I'm aware of it.
Yep.
I'm aware of it. So yeah, they're finally coming around to that. So before we started the podcast, Chris and I were sitting around and I was really frustrated and telling her how I got banned from the Instagram. And I was just like, I just need them to get to a point where I'll pay $500 a year. I can do whatever I want, royalty free. It doesn't matter. You can look at my channel every now and then and see that I'm not trying to make money off the artist. I'm just trying to show you my life. And I don't want to be deemed for the music. The music was just playing in the background while people came into the bike shop and we were building bikes and trying to have a good time. And I want to pay that license fee of where I'm not making money off of you. And if I do, then you ban me. I just want you to see my life and I can't do it. And it's really frustrating that I just want to watch TV with you guys. And we used to do that back in the day. When I live streamed in 2007, we watched so many game shows on TV. I would set the webcam in front of it and people would interact with us and it was so much fun. And then, television caught on and started banning that stuff. Right. But I want to pay a licensing fee to like be able to just live my life and not have to worry about it.
I actually looked it up because we had kind of made the joke about doing that like on Twitch or something. I don't remember where I posted it, but I'm like, I want to be able to do a show where I can talk about music however I want and review songs and talk to people about music because, I mean, I don't know how many people out there know that, but music is my entire life. I can relate almost any moment in my life to a song.
That is true.
Any feeling in my life to a song. I can hear a song with certain lyrics and it can make me feel better about something or make me think about something in a different way.
Right.
Music is one of the most important things in my life, period. Like, it just is. And I always thought it would be really neat to be able to kind of like break down songs and give my opinions on like the lyrics and not just my opinions, but like what it means to me and like find out what it means to other people. And I don't necessarily want to be like, this is what the artist meant. it's not what the artist meant, it's what the song means to you. And so I actually reached out to one of those companies, licensing companies or whatever, and kind of asked, and they flat out told me they don't license for that.
Because nobody in the industry is forward thinking is the problem.
Yep. I can get a radio station, but I can't live stream on Twitch and play music.
Your window's shrinking, but you kind of can. Do you remember when Crystal and I were playing that game? And it was probably the most successful live streams that I did on Twitch. And it was called like, it was a bad word in it. It was like, is this song good or bad or whack or crap or something like that? I don't remember what it was. And people were submitting songs in the chat. We were playing them and see how far Crystal could get through the song before she was disgusted by it or added it to her list to listen to later. And we had score sheets and stuff like that. That was so much fun. And we discovered so much new music that we hated and loved. And we, and that window's shrinking. You can review stuff and do anything you want on Twitch, but I think sooner than later they're gonna crack down and be just like YouTube, which has me really scared because I got banned for 90 days. Remember when I got banned for 90 days?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I'm scared. I've been slapped. I've been slapped by the virtual gods in the face. I've been taken down and demonetized and blacklisted for 90 days. I even had my friend Jess log in as me and try to plead my case to the YouTube Senate. You know what they said? They said no. Sentence stands. Sentence stands, Dan. So I don't want to get in trouble anymore, but I want to just be me. I can't be me right now.
It's a very interesting situation because I feel like there's so much potential and the record companies just don't see it
as much. It used to be way worse than it is now because look at the steps that have been taken on TikTok where people are starting to put their stuff out there, and I can use these songs and not feel guilty about it. But you know what I can't do? I can't make a rad TikTok with some sort of Aquabat song and then share it to my Instagram because then I'm screwed. Even though it's going into the same ears, I can't do that.
Unless Instagram has that song on their songs list already, and then you can.
Hoops, people.
Yeah.
All hoops.
Yeah.
Frustrating. I don't know how we got on this topic, but I'm glad because now I'm upset because all I want to do is play songs for you, and I can't. Oops, I did it again. Will never be, heard on my station because I cannot play it.
You can't. Well, and see, then the reality of that is there is fair use. So, and that was kind of what I was looking at. Would I be able to do what I want to do with fair use? Is it transformative enough in nature? So if I were to start a show and I were to play sections of a song and then analyze the section and then play the next section and then analyze that section, technically that is fair use. I should be able to monetize that. But the problem is YouTube doesn't care. And when the audio company comes down and says, hey, that's copyrighted music, now the only way around it is for me to hire a lawyer and for me to fight it. So it's not worth it.
You can do it, but you will have to fight a bunch of back-end stuff. I think PewDiePie would hint at that every now and then in one of his videos of I can do what I want and I can satire it, but the amount of time it takes behind the scenes to plead and show you that I am satiring it makes it so you're I just don't want to anymore. I don't want to.
Part of it. And you could do it, I could do it on YouTube and do it only with songs that are allowed to be on YouTube and not be monetized on any of it and find another way to monetize, finding sponsors for the show and things like that, and then you just wouldn't have to deal with it.
But will you get shut down if you're not monetized? Because so check this out. So I made that YouTube Megavix. I stole a song. I said I don't even care if I get a strike. This is the song I want to put to this video. I don't care, and nobody said anything. If I'm not monetized, can I do what I want? Can I play Dancing Queen like David Dilbert does? Why doesn't he get strikes? I know he doesn't get monetized maybe on that video, but why isn't he getting strikes against him?
I think he's paid a licensing fee for that video.
Well, bring me that licensing fee, please. $500 a year. I'll pay $500 a year.
Because that's how commercials get away with it. You pay a licensing fee to license a song for use and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure David Dobrik probably ponied up the money and pays a licensing fee for some of the songs that he used.
Okay, so say he does. How much happiness do those songs bring you at the end of the video when you start getting chills and you're like, oh my God, everybody's dancing queening and running around with all these great songs from the past, and now I connect with how fun that vlog was. A lot. And you could do that in your videos too. You could get so many more people to connect with songs that they connect with also, but you can't. You can't.
Yep.
You can't. You could more than you could before, but you can't.
Yep.
So that's what I'm frustrated with. I just want to pay the stupid licensing fee at a reasonable cost, or a monthly fee. I need YouTube Black. YouTube Black is where I pay $39.99 a month. I get access to not every single song, but a heck of a lot of songs.
It should work like Spotify. And if you put a song in a video, they should take your pennies. Like if you put it, like when you play a song on Spotify, the artist gets pennies, literally pennies. Like you play a song, they get pennies. You don't play a song, they don't get pennies. So why can't they implement something like that into YouTube that's like Spotify, where if you play a song, if you put a song in your video, I'm still going to get $3 from my video, but the artist with 30 seconds of their song that I used is going to get 20 cents. Right. Every time it's played.
Right. As you add the songs to there, it shows how many percentages you might have to give to the artist. 1, 2, 3%. It's not going to be that much of a percent. They don't take that big of a percent.
And then every time it's played, you have to pay that much.
You know what I get when I use an artist song? I get an email YouTube saying, "Hey, look, Dan, we love that you're using our platform and stuff like that, and you use this song, and that's fine. But guess what? You're not in trouble. But all the pennies you're going to make on it, all of them, 100% of all of them, is going to go to the artist." So
Which is stupid.
Right. So what you're telling me is that the artist's song is 100% radder than any content that I'm putting out.
Right.
And that's hurtful. That, like, no, dude, I'm trying to be funny and entertaining and me, and I play 3 seconds of a song and they get all my pennies, all of them. But
Unless you cover songs.
I wouldn't mind them getting like 3 of my pennies, of my 100 pennies, but not all the pennies.
But if you do cover songs, it's 50-50. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, they made it so you can cover songs on YouTube.
Interesting.
So you can have a whole channel full of cover songs. But if you cover a song, even if you even if you compose all the music on your own and cover a song, the artist still gets 50% of that.
I'm okay with that.
I am too, but that's one way they've got
it. That's fine. I love that. That's totally. That sounds fun. That's fine. Like, hey, let's make pennies together. I just want to be able to play 20 or 30 seconds of any song I want on an intro and outro of my video, and then the rest of the time I don't care about your song.
And wouldn't it be cool if when you did that, even if they got like a 50% or a 25% cut of whatever your video made, wouldn't it be cool? Because then they could have like, oh, here's a clickable link. If you want to download this song or buy this song, here's where you can get it. And that would all be automated.
Yes.
Like, it's not rocket science, you guys. It just makes sense.
But here's our only hope. My only hope is that this business model exists to a point inside TikTok.
It might.
Because there's free music in there for us to use. Instagram, I just saw the other day, I swiped over and there was music for me to use without any repercussions. I think they're testing the waters, and maybe in a few years we'll see licensing, or they'll realize if we just let them use the songs, people will come back and want to enjoy our stuff.
I just feel like if it was something like that where you're playing it, how many people realistically do you think have downloaded Dancing Queen that have never heard it before? The song is by ABBA. How many people even know who sang the song?
Before David Dobrik, not many. I'll tell you what, that has always been my download like favorite song. That song's so good. But it's got new light now. That is immeasurable.
Right. And they wouldn't have had that without David Dobrik using that. I
want to say back in the day, maybe like in the early 2000s when all this was coming down. Do you remember when people they had Napster, which was like a music app? And I was around for Napster, obviously. Yes. So we had Napster. We were downloading illegal music. That's not good, but that's what we were doing. It was a new thing. We were doing it. We were downloading illegal music. And then maybe 5 to 10 people got picked out and got sued. These kids got sued for millions of dollars. It was like $100,000 fine per song, and they downloaded thousands of songs. And Pepsi, I think, showed up in a commercial and bailed them all out and paid all their legal fees and got them out of the trouble and stuff like that, right? And they were going to have to pay millions of dollars in fees for all these downloads.
Yep.
That was such a crazy time. Like, there was going to be jail sentencing and stuff like that. So then Blink 182 made a video maybe a year or so later, and everybody that got demonetized and banned for using their song as they use it as a background to like their videos of whatever they were making. They took all those videos and put it in a music video of one of their songs, and like I believe it was something like that, right? You remember that? And they played all the people's videos that got banned for using their song, and they were just super stoked that somebody wanted to play their music in their memories. And I think if you're a real artist, you would be so stoked that I used your song. I chose your song for my vlog.
And I think there are real artists that are excited about that, but it's not them that can make that choice. It's the record companies. It was like, what wasn't it? System of a Down. System of a Down made an album and called it "Steal This Album."
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Korn had an album that was the same way. And was it Tool? Somebody released it. No, it was 9 Inch Nails.
It was Trent, but Trent owned his own stuff.
Yep, here's a free album.
Yep,
you want it? It's free.
I think it was that Ghost album. It was so good. It was just free. Like, here you go. Like, eat that.
Yep.
So they're coming around because, okay, so I had a friend back when I worked at the NASA times, like way back in the day, and he used to work at Curb Records before that industry was going down, and it was such a like the extravagance and the luxury life that he described that everybody lived at the record studios was $1 million lives, $1 million lives, and when that started crashing down, those guys all freaked out, and they got stingy, and they want all the pennies, and they want everything because they can't live that lifestyle anymore.
Well, and I also think we're getting to a point more and more where, and I think record companies have kind of figured this out, where they're not needed. They're not needed in the way they were years ago.
Right.
So I think artists are really figuring that out, and they're figuring out how to get their music out there on their own through TikTok or YouTube or whatever, or giving their albums away. And I think it's going to come to a point, like you said, it might not be 5 years from now or 10 years from now, but I think it will get to that point where it'll just be done differently.
They have to, because all their money's drying up.
Yeah.
They're not getting it from album sales. When was the last time you purchased a CD from Best Buy? 15 years ago?
Well, I bought a CD from Best Buy like 6 months ago.
Are you serious? I don't even own a CD player. My Jeep does not play CDs.
No, mine does actually. I bought the 10 Years album because they had a secret track on it and it wasn't available on Spotify, and I wanted it bad enough to buy the album.
Yeah. Okay. So now, I mean, they're stretching it.
Yeah.
They are stretching it. So sooner or later, this is all going to be gone, and you're going to need to go to the internet to get music.
Yep.
Legally.
Yeah, legally, not illegally. Napster bad.
Napster bad. LimeWire bad. iTunes good. So before we move on, Jess, I want to talk about this car that you have. It's been a week now that you've owned this car that's been scaring the heck out of me. Why don't you tell everybody at home? I'm sure everybody, by the time you've listened to this, you've watched her TikTok. You've seen the Instagram videos of those numbers spinning so fast.
Oh, God. Yeah, and we talked about it in the last podcast that I have a loaner car right now, and it's a 2018 Dodge Charger. It's not a car I should have. I went to Meijer in it with Greg the other day, and I'm like,
how fast did you get to Meijer? How fast did you get to Meijer?
I honestly don't drive it over the speed limit, but I will punch the gas and get to the speed limit as fast as possible.
You know, like, I don't get it. I knew this was a bad idea when you got the car. I knew it was a bad idea. I blame the people at the dealership for lending you this car because they know how you are. Because I know how you are, and it's all gas, no brake.
They knew. They knew.
So,
I mean, for those of you that don't know, I was 16 years old, and I had only had my license a year, and they took it away from me.
Are you serious? I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that?
You didn't tell me that. No, I didn't know that. Okay, hold on.
So I had 11 points on my driver's license, and they took my driver's license away.
Are you serious?
Yeah. In less than a year.
Here's how points work. You get a ticket, you get like 1 or 2 point, 1 point, 1 point for a ticket?
It depends on how fast you're going.
If you go to driving school, you get that point erased.
If you go over 20, we don't have driving school in Michigan.
Oh.
If you go over 20, they can write you up for, it's either reckless or careless driving, and that's 3 points.
Ooh, wow. Okay, so you got...
Don't ask me how I know that.
Right. And I got one of those once, and they just send you a letter. It's like, show up to court on this date.
Yeah, and that was only the points for the tickets that I fought that I didn't win. Because I fought a couple tickets where I won. I don't know how, but I
Holy
did.
cow.
Yeah, so I had my driver's license almost a full year. I was 17 and it was like November and my birthday's in December, so I was almost 18. I'd almost had my driver's license a full year.
Uh-huh.
And I got my last speeding ticket. I was doing 35. I was doing 45
In a
in
zero. You can't even
around
drive
the
there.
curve. And well, what it was from where I was coming from, the speed limit was 45 and then
Right.
it drops down to 25. And there's no like, hey, slow down. I live here. I know the speed limit goes down.
Mhm.
But I would just, you'd hit the curve where you're supposed to slow down and you just kind of just coast around the curve. You can do 45 around the curve.
Mhm.
So anyway, that was the last ticket I got. The police officer pulled me over. He wrote it for 35 and 25. They took my license. They took my driver's license
Okay,
away for
so-
30 days
Where was this at? What city?
here in Alpena.
So did the cop know who you were?
Oh, yeah.
What did he
Yeah.
say? Like,
Yeah.
you again.
So I drove a white truck with like no paint on the hood and a rainbow splash thing down the side of it, and the cap was faded so it was pink. So I had a white and pink truck with no paint on it and a big rainbow splash thing down the side of it. Everybody knew it was my truck.
Oh my God! Did he just walk up like head shaking? Like, come on! This
Yeah,
is
he
the
was also
17th one today.
the last one that wrote me my ticket was also my neighbor.
Like next door neighbor, or just like in like your next door
He
neighbor?
lived right around the corner from us where I lived with my mom and dad.
Do you guys make eye contact after that, or you just never talk to him after
Oh,
that?
I got it. No, I got in trouble. I got in a lot of trouble. Speeding. That was really all I ever got in trouble for.
So how many days?
They took it away for 30 days. That last ticket I got, I was so mad. I paid the ticket. 30 days later, no joke. 30 days after the day I paid the ticket. So they took my driver's license away from 30 days. But the ticket I got where I got written for a 35 and a 25, but I was really doing 45.
Right.
The day I paid the ticket, they upped the speed limit on that road to 45, and it is still 45 to this day.
Ooh, man. So every time, even to this day, when you go by there, you're pretty unhappy, right?
Yeah, so I fought the ticket, and the speed limit that day got changed. And if I
Oh,
would have been
that's
like,
great.
speed limit got put up to 45, it's a speed limit now, but I know it wasn't speed limit then, but not the point. But anyway, so they took it away for 30 days, and this was like for probationary driver's licenses. Like now in Michigan, you get like a probationary driver's license, and you can only drive with your family, and you can only do these things. You get like a permit thing.
So
This was
weird.
like before all that. So like, I got my driver's license. I had to drive 30 days with a permit, and then you get your real driver's license. So I'd had that almost a year. They took it away for 30 days. Then I have to go in, and you have to like retake a test, and you have to talk to like this counselor lady, and she asks you all these questions. And then they give me my driver's license back, but it's restricted. I'm only allowed to put my family in danger.
No friends, only family.
I cannot drive with people in my car. Now, mind you, this was November. Jamie and I started dating in October. So it was October 14th was when we actually started dating. I'd met him just a couple of months before that. When they took my driver's license away, his car he'd blown the motor in his car. My mom gave him my truck. Just like, here you go. She can't drive it. You get it. And gave him my truck.
Were you mad?
Oh, I was so mad. It was my truck. And then even when I got my license back for 6 months, I couldn't drive if Jamie was in the car with me. I couldn't drive with anybody in the car with me unless it was my family.
But you did, right?
No, I didn't, because I really didn't want to get in trouble again. I was like,
Were you in pretty
don't-
big trouble?
well, my mom and dad, they were just disappointed.
I mean,
Well,
how
not
do they
mad.
ground you? You're already banned for 30 days.
They didn't really. I didn't get anything taken. They took my truck away.
You're right. I mean, you can't use it anyway. You might as well give it to Jamie.
Yeah, they were very disappointed. But I mean, I got in trouble, but it wasn't like they didn't really take anything else away. And then 6 months I couldn't drive. And then I have not, knock on wood, I have not gotten a ticket since.
Let me put you on the spot a little bit. When was the last time you got a ticket?
I haven't gotten one since.
I haven't gotten one since I was like 21.
Yeah, I have not gotten one. I got a seatbelt ticket that I fought and won because I had pulled out I'd pulled out of a parking lot onto the road, reached for my seatbelt as the police officer saw me.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulled me over and I'm like, I literally just left the deli. And he's like, nope, you're getting a ticket. I'm like, dude, like, really? I literally just left the deli.
Dude, click on a ticket. Come on. You drove with no seatbelts on.
He wrote me a ticket. I fought it. The magistrate agreed with me.
Why?
And, because I literally I had it in my hand as I was pulling out into traffic.
But no, you're guilty.
But I'm not the problem.
If the clicker is not in the hole, you're guilty.
No, I'm not the problem. They want to get the people that drive with their seatbelts off all the time. I was putting my seatbelt on. But the officer tried to say I was putting it on because I saw him, and that was what his problem was. And I'm like, if that's the only reason you're giving me a ticket, you're not trying to save my life. You're just being an asshole. Like, that's plain and simple. You're not doing this because you care about whether or not I live or die. You're doing this to prove a point, and that's wrong. It's just wrong.
Do you remember, like, back when we were young, how, like, they really had to do a huge campaign to get people to wear their seatbelts?
Oh, yeah.
People, like, you don't get it, people, like, at home, all you kids, there was no seatbelts, and then there was lap belts, and nobody wore seatbelts. Not only that, there's a generation that's probably in their late 50s right now that do not wear seatbelts and will not wear seatbelts. I have family members that will not wear their seatbelt because they grew up not wearing their seatbelts.
And they survived.
It was so crazy, though, right? Like, it was click it or ticket. Every commercial would have, like, a campaign of, like, why you should buckle up.
Yeah. And then they had the kids now that didn't even sit in car seats. In Michigan, for the longest time, they couldn't, They couldn't pull you over if you didn't have your seatbelt on. They had to pull you over for another reason. So, like, if they saw you without your seatbelt on, they couldn't pull you over. The seatbelt was a secondary.
I remember that.
If you were driving 25 miles an hour down the road and they saw you not wearing a seatbelt, they couldn't pull you over.
Right.
Now, if you were driving 50 into 25 and you didn't have your seatbelt on, now they can pull you over and they can give you tickets for both. But they didn't used to be able to pull you over for just not wearing your seatbelt. So even after it was this big, huge click it or ticket thing, there were still people here that I can't get a ticket for it because I'm not doing anything else wrong.
How about this one? Is it still legal? It's not in California to ride in the back of the truck?
I don't think it's illegal in Michigan to ride in the back of the truck unless you have a seat back there that's bolted down with seatbelts.
Do you remember those days?
I'm not 100% sure, though. I'm actually not 100% sure because I think it's still legal in Michigan to ride in the back seat without a seatbelt on.
See, that's crazy. When I went to Chicago a couple years ago, there was no helmet law for motorcycle guys. So it was so crazy to see people that looked naked to me pulling up to stop signs with no helmet on.
If you don't have to wear a helmet in Michigan. They changed the law a couple years ago, but you have to have been riding for a minimum of 2 years or so many hours.
But what happens when you fall?
Well, it depends on how fast you're going. And then you also have to have like a different insurance policy.
Gotcha.
If you choose not to wear a helmet. And yes, if you're over the age of 16 in Michigan and you do not have to wear a seatbelt if you're riding in the back seat of a car.
Really? That's so crazy to me here in California. Wow, that is so crazy. I used to ride in the back of my dad's pickup truck all the time. We'd pull up to yeah, it was so crazy. And I'm like 11, 12. I'm not letting Blake go in the back of my pickup truck. We used to pull up to red lights and I would get people to roll their window down because Wayne's World was popular. And I would look at them and I would say, "Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon?" From those Grey Poupon commercials.
Right?
And they would all look at me like I was an idiot, and then my dad would drive off. But I would just ride in the back of the pickup truck.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so screwed if we get in a car accident.
But did you die?
No, I'm good.
Did you know that although it's incredibly dangerous, it is not illegal in every state to ride in the back of a pickup truck?
I didn't know that, but I believe it. Back east, not in any of these states on the West Coast, but back east because, like I said, when I went to Chicago, nobody had a helmet on and they were riding motorcycles.
Right.
Here you can't even ride a bike under 18 without a helmet.
Yeah, see, we don't have bike helmet laws.
Apparently, we love head saving in California.
I guess so. I think in Michigan, you actually have to be over the age of 18 to ride in the back of a pickup truck. But if you're over 18, I think they allow it.
Right.
I mean, because they're crazy. But I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I have mixed feelings about all of it because, and this is where people are going to hate me. People are going to hate me if I say this.
But you should have mixed feelings because you're you're from the like country. Like to me, you're like farmer, steel truck pickup things and bales of hay and like any of that lifestyle. You never see protection on anybody.
It's life, man. It's life. And I think that that's like the biggest difference is like so many people look at it and they go, that's dangerous. Yeah, so is life. Life is dangerous.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, and I get it. Should you wear a helmet while driving a motorcycle?
In
Yeah,
theory, yes.
I wouldn't wear a helmet while riding a motorcycle. But do I care if Billy Bob Thornton over there decides he wants to drive a motorcycle without a helmet on? That's not my choice. If he wants to ride a motorcycle and not wear a helmet, let him. That's okay.
Billy Bob Thornton. Are you Is it from Sling Blade?
Yeah.
It is. I know he was so good in Sling Blade. Mm-hmm. But no, I get why you feel that because that's how you grew up. We're in the age of Save Us and Fragile, so that's why everybody's got to work.
Just say it. We're in the age of snowflakes.
We're in the age of snowflakes. So you got to protect your dome. But after working at a bike shop, you do got to protect your dome. But if you want to sign a waiver that says that you want to be noodle soup on the road if you hit your head, then that's fine.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying don't wear a helmet. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that, you know what? If you don't want to, that's on you. And then you'll get the people that are like, yeah, but what if I'm the guy that hits the guy not wearing his helmet and he dies? Well, watch out for motorcycles.
Here's what I say about that. And I know it sounds bad, but here's the reality. Dude, shit happens.
Yeah, it's life.
Yeah, it's life. It's life.
It's life.
Oh my gosh, Jess, how do we get...
It's life. I had a buddy of mine that was wearing a seatbelt that was almost decapitated. So I actually have a couple of friends that were more injured by their seatbelts than they would have been had they not been wearing them, which is always in the forefront of my mind when I put a seatbelt on. Like, because I know people personally, I'm always like, this can go 50-50. I don't care what they say. 50-50. You might die. You might not. Your car might flip over. The seatbelt might save your life, or it may trap you inside of this fiery, burning ball of death, which is an irrational fear of mine. I don't know. Like, I do wear my seatbelt for everybody that's going to be like, do you wear your seatbelt? I do wear my seatbelt unless I'm sitting in the back of a car. I usually don't actually put it on in the back of a car. Probably because we've never had to and it's not just something I think about. But when I do,
you and I had a fight at VidCon when you were in the back seat and I wanted you to put on your seatbelt and you wouldn't put on your seatbelt.
Yep.
I was almost secretly praying for a big accident so I could tell you're flown out of the car body when I run 100 yards up the freeway that I told you so. But at last I realized that we had a podcast, so here we are now.
I'm like, we better not do that.
No. Hey, Jess, we have topics.
We
have topics. It is almost 1 o'clock in the morning your time, and what better time at night to discuss these relevant topics than now?
Because everything else we've talked about is irrelevant.
Well, how do we get here? We were supposed to do 5 minutes on how our days were, and then we're doing 30 minutes on helmet safety.
I think we got excited.
We did. But here we are, folks. Here we are.
It was a good conversation, though. Like, how do you kill a good conversation? When you get a conversation rolling, you just roll with it.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for tuning into the helmet talk. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about this week?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Am I supposed to know? Is it my job to know?
It is your job to know this week.
Oh, I don't want it to be my job. I quit. No, I'm just kidding.
So let's go to YouTube news.
Well, I thought we were gonna when we kind of started talking about like Twitch and stuff. I'm like, oh, we're gonna roll this right into Mr. Twitch himself, Ninja. But we didn't.
Yes. Okay, so I only heard a little bit about this, but Ninja apparently has left or is leaving Twitch.
Who has left Twitch? For those of you listening that do not know who Ninja is, where are you living under a rock? I mean, come on.
He's the number 2 most successful thing on the internet right now.
He is the number 1 streamer on Twitch with the most subscribers. I think he's got 14 million Twitch subscribers.
Yes.
Most views, blah, 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 blah. There's been a lot of issues going on with Twitch lately, with the creators of Twitch not feeling like Twitch is being good enough to them, like they're being biased towards certain creators. They have rules, but if a big creator breaks the rules, they kind of just go, hey, don't do that. But if a little creator breaks the rules, they ban their channels entirely. So this has been going on. I don't know if this is why Ninja left, but Ninja has left Twitch for Mixer, which I'm sure a lot of you listening are like, what the heck's a Mixer?
I've logged into it once years ago.
Yeah, so Mixer is owned by Microsoft.
Okay.
years and years and years ago, I have a friend of mine who actually started out on Mixer when Mixer started. And he still, to this day, makes videos on there. And I looked into it many years ago, but I suck at streaming and schedules and all those things. So, that's a whole nother thing. But there's rumors. So there's a lot of issues going around right now. A lot of big streamers on Twitch are contractually obligated to stream only on Twitch. Like if they're a good sized streamer, Twitch will come in and they'll say, we'll give you this much money. You sign this contract.
Right.
You can no longer stream on YouTube. You can't stream anywhere but here. And according to what I've been reading, Ninja had that contract. Now,
yes. And we saw it happen because I watched him from the beginning when he was in his bedroom with the white walls,
yes.
and then there was that switch over where he had those HD cameras, he had the
Yep.
Red Bull refrigerator, he had one Nike shoe on top, just one random Nike shoe on top all the time, and he had his blue hair, and they gave him a budget for logos.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yeah.
That's the point. That is good.
So I don't know. There have been streamers that have left Twitch in a contract and Twitch didn't come after them because they weren't that big, I guess, or maybe they just didn't want to make waves. So I'm wondering if Ninja's contract was up and he couldn't get them to negotiate a good deal and Mixer offered him more. Rumors are floating around. There are rumors that are saying Mixer gave him $10 million. Somebody said Mixer gave him $100 million. There's rumors. And it sounds like it's hard to say if he broke his contract with Twitch and just left, or if he actually if the contract had ended. I don't know.
He might have had to break it because he's only been under contract for maybe 1.5 to 2 years at most. He could have signed a 2-year contract, but if I was Twitch, I'd be locking you in for 5.
That's kind of my thought. You would think that it would be something long term, but we also don't know. I don't know, was he smart? Did he put it out and say, hey, if I get offered this and you can't match it, I'll be leaving, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I really don't know.
He might have jumped. But here's the thing about Ninja. He has his 15 minutes of fame is almost up. Just like Fatality, just like all those other people that get their own brands of professional gaming stuff. His 15 minutes are almost up. So jump to it, Ninja. You saw how nobody tried to do your Fortnite dance at your New Year's Eve stream when you were live in New York. You got to hop on your 15 minutes of fame, get paid, get your money, because there is no more jumps. That was your last jump. And then you will be irrelevant soon in a most respective way. Good job, Ninja.
I mean, and that could be true. I guess
is.
the one article I was reading said that in comparison, there's about 70,000 people that stream on Mixer compared to 1.5 million people that stream on Twitch.
Right.
And I think realistically for Microsoft, I wouldn't be surprised if they paid him big money to get him over there. Last I read, he had already gained, I think it was 125,000 subscribers on Mixer within, just a short minute after. And he hasn't even streamed yet. I don't think he's streaming anything till Monday.
But I will say something though. It needs to be millions after he streams on Monday. They have to make that capital back super quick.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will because now, Mixer, right now, the interesting thing I found about the Ninja, this whole situation was it wasn't just the YouTube and the tech sites that were reporting on it. This made national news. This was actually, when you looked it up, there was big news companies that were actually reporting on this. So you're also putting that out in a lot of people's faces.
Right.
So I think a lot of people went and checked out Mixer that have never heard of what's this Mixer? I've never heard of it before. So I think that they're going to get their money back pretty quick.
But here's the thing, though. How many subscribers? Because he's the second most popular thing in the world. When you look up ranks of who's the most popular, he's number 2 of everybody in the world. Next to a soccer player, Ronaldo. There's a soccer player that's the most popular thing in the world right now and does way better than Ninja and is more popular than him online. And then he's number 2. But he had 12 or 14 million people on Twitch? 12?
I think he had 14 million.
14. How many of those people switched over to Mixer?
I don't know.
That's 14 million new accounts that have to be installed to Mixer for him to get a net gain. So he ran to the money, not to the numbers.
He streamed, so he already streamed. He's streaming from Lollapalooza. Really? He's streaming from Lollapalooza? Don't they play music there? What the heck? Maybe we need to get on Mixer.
I know. I'll stream on Mixer.
It looks like he has 561,000 followers on Mixer already. And
Wow.
his live stream that he streamed today got 3.2 million views.
Okay, so we're all watching, but we're not all jumping on board. But we need to jump on board. If they don't get my username, my password, my age, my location, then they can't further their app. So they need those people to go there. How many of those people do you think subscribe to him with paid accounts on Twitch? So he had to have been getting paid on the back end, where it doesn't matter that he took this loss on the front end, because he's
Right.
not going to make money on the front end right now, because all those people were already giving him all that money on Twitch.
Oh, right now you can subscribe to Ninja and Mixer for free.
What do you mean for free? It better be free, yeah.
Limited time offer. Claim your free subscription to Ninja.
Okay. But you don't go Ninja. Get paid, bro. Get paid, because your 15 minutes of fame is running out quick.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, you and Marshmallow Head can't do any more duos and try to get more money out of that. It's not going to happen.
I didn't know Lollapalooza was still a thing.
Is Lollapalooza a thing? Where was that at? That was back east. That was like a Chicago thing. I always wanted to go to Lollapalooza.
I thought Lollapalooza was a 90s thing, but that's what they said, Lollapalooza.
So what else is in the news today?
They want to change the date of Halloween
I'm so okay with that.
to change it to a Saturday?
Yeah, and I think you and I are going to probably have bunches of differences on this, because this is your, like, Christmas. This is your religious moment of your year.
So here's I decorate my house with over 100 pumpkins and work for 5 days straight with the bestest friends in the entire world that all come over here and work their little fingers to the bone, and we eat food and we drink and we just have a really good time, and we end up with over 100 carved pumpkins in our yard.
that
And then
you've
we all
grown
go
yourself.
outside.
Don't forget that. You've grown those yourself.
Yeah, a lot of them we do grow ourselves now. And then we all go outside and we listen to all the kids going, oh my gosh, look, it's blah blah blah, look, it's a My Little Pony pumpkin, look, it's Star Wars. Listening to the kids, and not just the kids, the parents that just in awe, how did you do this? And oh my gosh, this is amazing, and thank you for what you do for the kids. Like, okay, so now that all that is out of the way, what is my opinion on changing Halloween to a Saturday, even though it's supposed to be October 31st and it's been October 31st forever?
Okay.
Honestly, I would be okay with it, because I feel like more people would come to my house and see my display. It's a very selfish reason.
Right.
It 100% is a selfish reason for me. I feel like I've been doing this for 16 years. 16 years, is that right?
Yes, and you've
16?
probably had no more than 2 weekend Halloweens.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for 16 years, and I will say, when Halloween falls on a Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, those are the worst. They're the worst. We get
Agreed.
the least amount of people, the least amount of kids. It just doesn't. When it falls on a Friday or Saturday, Thursday's not too bad. When it falls on a Friday or Saturday, and even a Sunday, we get more people. We get more trick-or-treaters. We
Right.
get more people that come out to see the show. I would be okay with it.
Yes.
I feel like I would be okay with doing, maybe not necessarily that it's Halloween that day, but doing trick-or-treating on a Saturday night.
Yes, I've had one Halloween party at my house since I was a child, and that's because it only was on a Saturday once since then. And we had the greatest time. We all dressed up. We had a costume contest. It was so much fun. But when it's on a Wednesday, nobody cares, and it sucks. It should always be on the last Saturday of October.
I have been doing this for a long time, and I honestly feel like Halloween is fading. And I feel like, again, I have a lot of opinions on this.
Right.
I feel like I have watched the trend of Halloween go from being something amazing to people just don't care anymore. They don't want to take their kids out. It's exhausting. You know, they get off of school and they got to feed them, and then they throw them in the car, and then they got to go trick-or-treating. And I just feel like it becomes a stressful thing for parents, a stressful thing for kids, and a lot of parents just don't do it.
Right.
And I feel like doing this for so long, I love Halloween being on October 31st. I still think Halloween should be on October 31st, but I feel like the celebration should nationwide be on a Saturday.
Yeah, come get my candy on Saturday night.
Yes. I feel like that, you know, so you kind of get the best of both worlds.
You would sell more candy. You would do so much better, because I would give you out. We would be having a party here. Okay, so on Halloween in my part, I live in the ghetto. That's just the reality of it. And I take my bench and I put it at the end of my walkway so people don't come to my door, because it's all just like, it's scary here. But you know what? If I was having a big old party here, I would be having candy, and everybody at the party could help him hand out candy, and we'd have fun. We'd go out in the front yard. It'd be great. We did it once, but that's only because it was on a Saturday once.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be okay with it being on a Saturday. I just feel like we would get more trick-or-treaters. I feel like it would be less stressful on parents. I feel like we would get more kids, more people would come because we do the display. Our display is one night only. That's it. One night, that's it. Pumpkins don't last. After you've been carving for 5 days and you've gutted them 5 days ago, they're already getting wimpy and wilty by the time the show starts. Like,
Yeah.
they don't last. And I feel like we would get the maximum amount of people that would come and see it if it was on a weekend.
Yeah,
and
it's a 3-day event. They come Friday, they come Saturday, they come Sunday, and then Monday you're done with it. It's Halloween weekend. What are you doing this weekend? It's holiday. It's Halloween weekend, man. So whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have parties Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Like it would be so much better.
I feel like it would turn the whole holiday around. I just feel like it would just be it because I honestly feel like Halloween is a fading holiday. People don't, and not just because I see it. I see the less and less people every year that come to our house, and it's not because they've seen it before. That's not it at all. Like I've seen the change in even like the downtown trick or treating that they do here. I've seen the change, but like when I go to Meijer and there's 2 shelves of Halloween stuff, or I go over to Walmart and there's maybe 3 shelves of Halloween stuff, and it's all junk and it's nothing good. It's nothing you want to buy. You go, why is this? I have stuff that I can actually see where I'm sitting right now, my Halloween stuff that I bought years ago at Walmart or Kmart that was amazing Halloween stuff they don't make and put in stores anymore. And I know part of that is because online and, it's seasonal and they're going to lose money if it doesn't sell. But I just feel like it's a fading holiday, and I don't want it to fade because it is my favorite holiday.
It's a byproduct of us being a recluse society right now. We're all so freaking scared of everything and attacks and invasions because, back in the day, you heard the news that was in a 20-mile radius of you, and now you hear the world's news, and it's a big world, people. So there's a lot of tragedy, and everybody's so afraid of things that we all just become recluse, and nobody wants to get the razor blade in the apple, which has never happened before, or the needles in the apples, which has never happened before. They're all myths. Nobody's ever had that happen. It doesn't happen, but we're all so freaking scared of everything because we're a bunch of snowflakes these days. That holiday is a byproduct of losing out to the fear that the internet's caused us, I think.
I mean, and it's not just that. Now you've got, and this has always been a thing, but now you've got the kids with like peanut allergies, and there's like you're supposed to put up a blue pumpkin if you give out certain types of candies, and like now parents have to go through all their kids' candies because what if they got a Snickers bar with peanuts in it and their kid's allergic to peanuts? Well, they still want to experience Halloween, but now they can't eat any of the candy. Like,
how dare you?
There's just so much that and I know, like, I saw in the podcast group, everybody was like, I know what Jess is going to think about this. And I kept thinking, you guys, you don't know.
No, I didn't. I absolutely thought you and I were going to go to battle on this.
I love Halloween more than any other holiday. And if that's what it takes to save it, then I would rather save it than see it continue to fade the way it has.
Right. Do you guys have snow during Halloween?
Sometimes.
So crazy. It's always been hot here, and twice it's rained, but it's always been just like hot. Another thing that I would like to change too while we're doing this, I would like the time, because the time changes a week after Halloween, and it gets darker earlier. If they could just sync that with Halloween and have the time changed a weekend before, then we could get out to getting candy a lot earlier than 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, see, our trick-or-treating starts here at 5. It goes, in our town, it goes from 5 to 7, I think it is.
Wait, well, hold on. You guys have some sort of set time?
Yep, our town has a set time, and actually I lied. I think it's 5:30. It's 5:30 to 7. Mm-hmm. So you get, or maybe it's 5 to 7:30. Either way, it's a 2-hour block. So it's a 2-hour block that you hand out candy, and everybody knows that that's the time it starts. So we're always like, we make sure we're set up by that time. Now our house, we leave set up until midnight, and that's how we advertise it. We're like, it's set up till midnight, and then realistically, we leave the lights on all night long. But
yeah, why not?
We try to tell people that it's 5 o'clock to midnight. If you want to see the show, it's better to see it at dark. So what usually happens is we get trick-or-treaters in our neighborhood. We get trick-or-treaters that know who we are, and then we die down for about a half an hour, and then about 7:30, that's when the traffic jam starts. And we have a traffic jam from 7:30 to about 10 o'clock, and then we have all the tricklers after that.
All the tricklers. What happens the next night? I've had people come to my door the next night and ask if they had, like, unlocked knock will happen at the door. I'll walk up to the door and they'll be like, trick or treat. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? It's like not even the next, like this is a different month now. And they come for our candy. So I get it. It should be on the weekend. It definitely should be on the weekend. It's not even is it, wait, hold on. And this is going to sound bad. Is it a real it's not a holiday. It's Halloween. It's not, that is not a holiday.
It is too. It is a holiday.
I don't know.
Kind of a combination of multiple. I mean, there is a history behind Halloween and how it started and all the different things, and you'll have to read about it because I'm not going to explain it.
But
to
it's
you.
all but it's all flim flam, right?
No, there is actually history behind Halloween, and there's just you guys don't have Devil's Night though, do you?
No, that's a couple nights before, right?
No, Devil's Night is the night before.
Is it the night before? Okay, no, we don't have that like lore here, but I feel like we're not offending anybody with Halloween. Like, there's no like people like, hey man, you can't be like this on Halloween. It's just like a fun
I don't
thing.
think like handing out candy is not like the ancient origins or the traditions of Halloween isn't handing out candy. I think that's that's a different thing. The traditional reasons that Halloween is Halloween, like not the traditions, but the origins could still be celebrated on October 31st.
Sure.
But the handing out of candy could just happen on the weekend.
What was your favorite Halloween costume?
Oh my gosh.
And don't say which.
Huh?
Don't say which.
No. I really did like it when Jamie and I dressed up as Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas.
That was so funny when you sent me that picture, because I think Nightmare Before Christmas was up for maybe like a remake or like a live action remake, and then you sent me those pictures of you guys dressed up as like Jack Skeleton and that lady girl.
Yep.
What's her name?
Sally.
Yeah, that was so funny. I was laughing. I laughed so hard that I started snorting.
That's probably my favorite. I mean, it wasn't as a kid, it was as an adult, but that's probably my favorite costume. We went to a Halloween, and it wasn't on Halloween, it was actually in September, but we went to a Halloween camp out, and you go to this campground, and everybody decorates their campsites. So we brought brought a bunch of pumpkins, and we carved pumpkins. They had a pumpkin carving contest, and I won first place. I have a trophy
so fun.
from it. And then they have a costume contest, and I think Jamie and I got second place in the costume contest. But like, you go there and you decorate your whole campsite, and then when it gets dark, everybody turns their lights on at their campsite, and the kids trick or treat from camper to camper.
Right. That's so cool.
So fun. Like I loved it so much. It was so great. Like we brought all of our handmade gravestones, and we decorated our whole, like we did it up the campsite. It was awesome.
And you could do it every year if it was on a Saturday.
Well, you can do that every year because that's only on the weekends at the campground anyway. But yes.
Yeah. That'd be so cool.
That's probably my favorite outfit. We also wore it downtown one year for the downtown trick-or-treating, and Jamie actually I don't even know if I have it on video, but he had that Jack Skellington mask on, and like he was walking around in the crowds of people, and he was waving at people and like bending down and looking at little kids just waving, and everybody was just in awe.
He's good because he's tall and lanky.
Yes. Oh yeah. He pulls it off.
That's so great. Probably my best Halloween moment was probably when I was 5. I dressed as a bum, and you could do that back in the day, guys. You could dress as a hobo. So I had like clothes that were like oversized and like itchy on. I had a hat on. I had this big plastic fake cigar. It was so huge and plastic. I had a stick with the bandana tied at the end with a bunch of paper in it, so it looked like I was a hobo. And my parents took a piece of charcoal and warmed it up a little bit and then pushed it all over my face like I was a bum.
Right.
And I walked around with like, I'm old, guys. So maybe Return of the Jedi had just came out and people were R2-D2 in it and stuff like that. And I won first place for being a bum in my school. There was lots of people there, and I won. I won for being a bum.
That's funny.
Yep, hobo life, yo. Hobo life. What other costumes here? I'll rattle through them real quick. That was when I was when I was 5 or 6. When I was 8 or 9, I remember being a ninja, but it rained that day. I remember going as a straight up girl, and I remember getting eyeliner, and my eyelashes crimped. I made a pretty good girl. I was pretty hot. as a girl. I went as a zombie before zombies were cool, and I put all this like pussy makeup on me, like it was like this green splatter stuff. And at the end of the night, I was crying, and I had to call my parents in to come help me scrub it off my face because it was ripping my face off like those black masks. Oh my god! You know what I mean? Like those peeling black masks. I went as otaku one time because I was all into Japanese stuff, and I had like Japanese clothes on. And I think that was I went as a hockey player one year because I was already playing hockey and I went as a hockey player. What about you? What were your costumes?
I don't even remember a lot of them. Like I don't really remember.
I imagine you being like a cowgirl or like.
I was an Indian. I remember I was an Indian one year because my grandma made like the outfit. I do remember that because I had an actual headdress that I bought from Mackinac Island. You used to be able to get up there, and it was really cool. So I do remember that because I think that was the year my buddy Jason went as an army dude.
just like green all stuff and just like army guy.
Yep, just the army guy. I know I had like the silly things like the little devil costumes and like, a lot of the stuff like was stuff that my grandma made for us.
Right. So like, here you go. It's Halloween time.
I don't think I ever went as a princess. My sister went as a princess. I remember that. I don't really remember the things I remember the most about Halloween. No joke. This is so lame. But the things I remember most are carving pumpkins with my dad. Like, that's
Really?
what I remember. More than I remember trick-or-treating, more than I remember any of the other stuff is carving pumpkins with my mom and dad. Watching my dad carve pumpkins. And then the one year, which is probably the reason why I have this need to want to carve all these pumpkins and have this huge display, is we grew pumpkins at my grandma Pago's farm, my grandma and grandpa's farm. And we brought home, I think it was like 27 pumpkins, and we carved them all and put them out in front of the house. And I remember that. I remember being in the backyard on the picnic table with my dad, and we carved 27 pumpkins, and we put them all out with candles in them, and everybody in the neighborhood thought it was the coolest thing. And I honestly think that's what started it in my brain to go, I want to do this all the time.
My hands don't work. I can't trick or treat, but I have 27 pumpkins. That's one thing that you do text me all the time during the pumpkin thing, because I get all these pumpkin updates. The one thing you text me is like, my hands don't work anymore.
Yep. Every year it gets worse.
In the name of pumpkin.
I don't know how we're gonna keep doing this.
Wait, here's the deal, and everybody wants to know. I know the answer because you give me updates. Are there new pumpkins growing so you can do it again this year?
I haven't been out to the farm. I know there's pumpkin plants.
Right. So you're gonna do it again this year?
Yeah, we're gonna do it again this year.
Look, you put a lot of pumpkins out there with a lot of different themes. What's the chance that your boy can get an RF stamp pumpkin? Just like this like mohawk like silhouette thing on a pumpkin. I've been waiting for like 6 years now to be on a pumpkin.
I mean, it's possible. Do you want it on I have 3 fake pumpkins sitting here. Do you want me to do one and send it to you?
Yeah, I guess if you want to put me on a fake pumpkin.
The cool part about fake pumpkins is you have them for always. I have a Jack and Sally pumpkin. That's my favorite pattern that I have on a fake pumpkin. And I have one of a husky that's not on a fake pumpkin because they were 2 of my favorite patterns. And I didn't, like, I could carve them every year. I could still carve them every year if I wanted to, but I have them and I can light them up whenever I want to.
Whenever I want in March.
Don't think I don't do it, because I do.
I know, they're probably lit up right now. Okay, before we change subjects, the last thing, this will make or break us. And I say on the count of 3, we answer the question at the same time, okay? And I'll ask you the question, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3, and we'll say yes or no. And we'll see if we're best friends for life, or if it's all fake. Okay, ready? Do you like candy corn? 1, 2, 3, no.
No.
Good. Oh my gosh. That's why we're friends for life, Jess. Candy corn is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I am not a fan at all.
If you like candy corn in the comments, you might get banned.
Jamie likes candy corn.
Oh, he's banned. Oh, I love Jamie too.
But he doesn't like chocolate. So I gotta let him slide.
Okay, that's fine. He's got the opposite
and he
palate
doesn't
taste.
eat a lot of it. Like, he'll eat a few pieces and that's it. He's not the person to eat the whole bag of candy corn, but Jamie doesn't really, and not to say that he doesn't like, no, he just doesn't. He doesn't like chocolate. It's not his favorite thing. So like, if I get a candy bar and it's chocolate and I'm like, oh, you want to share this with me? I always offer him a bite because I know he's going to take one bite and that's it. And I'm going to get the rest of it.
That's so crazy. I wonder if people just don't like chocolate. You know how there's people that eat, is it cilantro or pico de gallo and it either tastes good or tastes like soap? I think it's cilantro, right?
Yes.
Maybe that's his soap.
He doesn't like rich flavored candy. He doesn't like fudge. He doesn't like anything that has that. If it's a really, really sugary, really rich, he just doesn't. He'll take one bite and there's certain candy bars I'll eat and he'll be like, I don't understand how you can eat a whole one of those. And I'm like, well, because I'm a squishy girl. I like candy.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's a taste bud. I would send Gosh, my friend in Japan, I sent him a bite-sized Snickers, and it took him all day to eat a bite-sized Snicker, and he would say, oh, it's so sweet, though.
Right?
Yeah, because they just don't have that palate, so maybe it's just too much for him.
Could be. Could be.
Well, then enjoy your candy corn, Jamie, because you're alone in this, because I don't know if anybody else is going to come to his defense on the candy corn thing. I think Crystal likes candy corn. Crystal, you like candy corn? Yeah, she likes candy corn, but
that's how Jamie is. It's a sort of thing.
Yeah, well, she's also a ginger, so she don't count.
That's not nice.
She unfazed me with that. She deliberately didn't even like look my way. All right, just before we get out of here, I just checked the Speakpipe, and we have a question from Addie. And you guys at home are like, how do we ask you questions? Go to speakpipe.com/ccmouspodcast and leave us your audible questions.
Audible?
Yeah, I love it. If you have an accent, plus one to accent. All right, so let's play the question from Addie. I have not heard this, so I have no idea what she's going to ask. But let's find out.
I'm getting braces in a couple days, and I was wondering, if you ever had braces, what was your experience? Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Addie, you just asked a loaded question. Thank you for your question, Addie. Go to speakpipe.com/ccmouspodcast if you guys would like to ask your question. Jess, I'll let you go first because I am long-winded on this one. Did you ever have braces?
Nope, I got crooked teeth. I never got braces.
I never got braces. All right, let's just go straight to me. So I had braces for 9 years.
Oh my gosh.
So my teeth were all over the place. I was like a shark. I had 2 rows of teeth, and there was a tooth, like, if you guys touch the middle of your nose and just slide your finger under your eye, in there was another tooth. And they're like, how is that tooth going to come out? And they're all like, oh, we could, like, open up his cheek and pull his tooth out. And I'm like, no, wait, what? I'm not a treasure box. Leave my tooth alone, right? So I had so many teeth that one time I went into the doctor's office and they pulled 4 of my teeth when I was like 15. They pulled like the two Twilight teeth, like the vampire teeth.
Right.
So that's why I didn't like Twilight, because I don't have those. And they pulled the 2 teeth of those underneath to make room, because I guess I had too many teeth. That means somewhere out there somebody didn't have enough teeth. But here I am. So I had so many teeth. They were pulling teeth out. Then I was playing hockey one day, right? I was playing hockey on a Friday, and I was playing hockey on a Tuesday, and I think Wednesday I was supposed to get my braces off. All my teeth had shifted. They all went back to normal. They all look good. And someone said, hey, because I worked at a hockey rink. Someone said, hey, Dan, like, we need one more player. Could you come help us out so, like, the game can happen? I said, sure, but I didn't have my helmet. So it was the only time that I did not wear my helmet. And a guy hit me in the face with this hockey stick. Boom. It blew out all my teeth. It cracked my jaw. They were being held on by braces, so, like, they were moving, right? So God. I hold my hand. I go to the bathroom. They're like, one of the guys just happened to be a paramedic. He's like, dude, you got to go to the doctor. So I go to the doctor. I get there. I have a Polaroid somewhere of this. I don't know if I can dig it up. But there's no front teeth, and I have big front teeth. There is no front teeth, and they're just missing. So the doctor comes in. He gives me shots in the holes where the teeth were at. He shoved my teeth back in. He gave me stitches on my gums, which have to be tapped in because, it's really hard there. And then he put this big plastic mouthpiece over my mouth, and it hardened, and it stayed there for 6 weeks. And then he stitched up my lip because my lip was all jacked up. So 6 weeks go by, and I go in there, and he's going to pull this thing off, and he's ripping it out, and I can hear... And I don't have a mirror. He turns his back to me. He's an old man. This was in like 1997. I feel with my tongue, and I can feel a tooth missing. A tooth missing is not that bad. You could put a tooth in. But here's the thing. My 2 front teeth are like big pieces of chiclet. Like, you've seen my teeth, right? Don't I have huge front teeth?
Uh-huh.
You can't just, like, make another front tooth, right?
Right.
So I was like going like, oh my gosh, my front tooth is gone. And then he showed me a mirror, and it was this tooth that was missing. And then I remember the part of the story where I had that tooth that was up in my eye, like up there. That tooth came down on its own and filled that spot. And right now,
no way.
Oh yeah, watch this. I'm clicking that tooth now that was in there. So instead of me having to have surgery, him hitting me in the face blew out that tooth so that other tooth could come down. And then they put braces on me for 4 more years. So I had braces for 9 years, people.
That's insane.
9 years I had braces on for. Did you know that story?
No.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that story.
I had braces for 9 years.
So how did you deal with it?
Oh my God, I'd kiss my girlfriend, and every now and then you'd go in a little hard and you'd bump her and her lip would bleed. Oh, I'm sorry, Alicia out there. I'm sorry that I'm sorry. I'd bump her mouth every now and then, and the moment would be done. Oh, what the heck, man? She's just bleeding everywhere.
So Addie can't kiss anybody.
No. Sorry, Addie. You'll not be smooching anybody. And here's the thing, Addie. Let me give you some advice. It will hurt if you have the braces on for a year and a half. It will hurt for the first 6 months. Every time you go in there and tighten it up, it's just uncomfortable. So just plan on eating something light that day, some soup, some bread, some toast, and it'll go away in a day or two. After you have your braces on for a long time, you'll go in there and you'll get your braces tightened. What it is, they're moving it around by putting a tighter wire in there, and you won't have any problems anymore. They won't hurt. You'll be okay. Gum sucks. Don't eat gum. But you'll be fine. But yeah, if you lean in for a smooch, do it at half speed because I'll tell you from experience, you might cause some bleeding.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I never had braces.
Moral of the story, people, wear your helmet.
Yeah.
Wear your helmet. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I definitely agree with that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't hear that story.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. So thank you, Addie. Thank you, Addie, for your question. If you guys would like to leave questions, as always, go to speakpipe.com/ccmousepodcast and ask us a question. You never know what benign question could turn into something crazy like this story.
Right?
Yes.
You never would have been able to tell this story without Addie.
And on that breath, that'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. You can find us everywhere on social media: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Oh my gosh, I love you, YouTube. You are my queen right now. I love you. Bend the knee. Yes to YouTube. All of those and more at CC Mouse Podcast. Would you like to be the first person to buy our merch? Because nobody's purchased our merch.
Nobody?
Nobody's purchased our merch. If you'd like to pity merch us, head over to ccmousepodcast.shop. Send me a picture where I'll blow you up wearing our pity merch.
Pity merch. We need to make that into a shirt.
Yeah, it just says pity merch, like clickbait, but it's just in college font.
Pity merch.
Yeah, and I'm saying this with love. I'm just messing with you. Don't buy our merch. But, but really, though, buy our merch.
We need your pennies.
We need your pennies. Okay, that was a double joke. So we'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye.
Bye. Hey, we did a thing and it's only 1:20 in the morning.
We did a thing.
Woohoo!